Of the High School Star League. We got some awesome matches here for you today. We're going to have two excellent high schools, Texas Academy of Math and Science versus Oxford, both of whom we've already casted before, Daedalus. So we're going to get right into our first match in just a moment. By the way, Daedalus, how are you doing today? I'll take that as we're doing okay here. We're going to get right into it, as I said. And Texas Academy of Math and Science has been doing pretty dang well, I'd say. We saw them yesterday. We saw them last weekend, and they won 4-0. We saw Oxford yesterday, and they went down to Walnut 3-1. Do you have any hope at all for Oxford beating such a strong team like Texas Academy?
Other than their name, no, I have no hope.
Well, we're gonna have to see. You know, I always root for the underdogs, and Oxford really feels like one of those teams that's really trying hard to get their team where they need it to be. They're bringing in a few players that we haven't seen before. Let's go ahead and talk about the players here. Yesterday, we saw their player Print F. And he did a decent job, but he wasn't able to win it for his team, unfortunately. We have Super Gandalf and I Like Cheese. Now, I Like Cheese and Super Gandalf we have not seen play before. These are two new players that they're bringing on for their team. And we're going to be showcasing them today. And then for Texas Academy of Math and Science, we have Malik, Clinch, and Asian Pop-Tart. Now, Malik we're familiar with. We've seen Malik before. We've seen Clinch before, but Asian Pop-Tart, I love that name, by the way. It's a player that we haven't seen before. So I'm going to be really excited to see what these guys can bring to the table.
Yeah, so we should be getting into these games here in just a second, provided nothing goes wrong.
Right,
yeah.
So this first match is going to be Malik versus I Like Cheese. And Malik, again, from Texas Academy of Math and Science. I Like Cheese, representing Oxford here. Do you think I Like Cheese has any cheese planned here?
Possibly, but in TVZ you don't see too much cheese recently, so maybe he won't cheese as much as he enjoys to this time.
Well, I'd be excited to see something like maybe a Proxy 2 Rax, maybe that Proxy 2 Rax Reaper that we've been seeing a little bit of, maybe just a Proxy 1 Rax Reaper with a bunker. Those are really the options I think that he has going into this game. But Ian, enough talk, my friend. Let's go ahead and hop into the match. The countdown has started, and we're getting right into it. And already, I'm going to go ahead and let you talk about what you see on screen right now.
Alright. So, we have Malik, our Diamond Zerg player, versus I Like Cheese, our Bronze Terran. Now, I think it slightly favors Malik.
Yeah, slightly favors Malik indeed here. The bronze player, not very favored here. But I Like Cheese is going to give it a go. He's definitely going to give it a try here. And let's go ahead and introduce our players spawning in the spawning in the left position of Catalina, representing the Texas Academy of Math and Science and the B2 Life. It is Malik.
And spawning up on the top right side, we have our Orange Terran player playing for Oxford. It is I Like Cheese, who is feeling the hoi 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 right now.
He is feeling quite hoi hoi hoi. He's got the little star emblem on his command center here. Very nice touch on that. So he is a superstar, and we're going to have to see how he plays. Now, I like his first move already. He is starting to wall off his main ramp, so he's got... Alright. I like to imagine that there's a Terran checklist of things you need to do, and walling off is the first thing. Now, let's see if he knows what to do after that. Might get into some harass. Because one of the things about this matchup that every good Terran player does is they harass the Zerg. Because if you let the Zerg get on that 72 drone economy, it's pretty much GG right there.
Yeah, the only way I've seen that being dealt with is if you were able to do some sick drops and kill all of their bases, but that barely ever happens in GM. I really don't think we're going to see that I like cheese feasibly here.
No, definitely not. But, you know, I'd like to see him give it the old college try, so to speak, here. We do have the Overlord going to be scouting up here in the top portion of Catalina. And Malik's going to be rewarded for this. He's going to be able to see everything. The first Marine is not out. In fact, the barracks aren't even done yet. So he's going to be able to see exactly what's going on here. And he will see that... he should see the orbital command. Now, that's going to be the first thing he looks for. He knows that he's up against a bronze player. Okay, we do have the orbital right on time coming up for I Like Cheese. And so, the wall is complete, and Malik takes his natural expansion.
Yeah, an interesting thing to note is we've got 250 minerals in the bank for I Like Cheese. Now, based on what I've seen in Platinum, I would say you'd throw down 2 or 3 more racks with this and then just go for a 1-base push, but considering it's a bronze player, we're not entirely sure what we're going to see, but I'd assume it's some sort of 1-base push. Or maybe an FE, but maybe. No.
Well, 500 minerals are in the bank, and we have nothing yet up on the queue. Just a single Marine, adding on SCVs as well. Back home, however, for Malik, we have more drones, queens, and that second hatchery at the natural is soon to complete. And it looks like he's just going to stay on 2 bases. He's scouted the main. He says, okay, you're not fast expanding. We're all good. Little does he know, I Like Cheese has in fact elected to fast expand. Now, Daedalus, how do you feel like this? Because here's my impression. The longer you play against a higher ranked player, the less favored you are to win, because their macro starts to take over. In my opinion, it's always better to go for an early strategy where you can minimize the effect of the difference in macro.
I have to agree with you there. The only real reason I see this being a very good idea is if it goes for, like, maybe a 2-base all-in, but I'm not sure there's that many of 2-base all-ins in the TVZ matchup.
Yeah, you might see that against Protoss when you pull the boys before you have Storm out. But
Yeah.
here, you know, you pull the boys, they get hit by Banelings. Okay. You save some Marines, but, you know, it's a slaughter otherwise. Now, I will mention this. Malik has 19 drones on his minerals. Why 19? Because he had 16 on minerals and 3 on gas. He's taken off of gas here, Daedalus. He's going for a speedling all-in, it looks like. He's hardly droned up his natural. He's still droning up a little bit, but no more gas after speed. Kind of leads me to believe that he just wants to go in with Massling, says, you know what, I'm a diamond player. There's no way you can defend an attack from me. I'm just going to go in, I'm going to kill you. Or
Yeah, I actually don't like this decision, though. If he goes for a circling all-in here, with the bunker, as long as he knows how to put Marines into a bunker, then he can hold this reasonably easily. Now, if the Zerg player, granted, was to take more gas and go into Banelings, then I think it would be a good idea, but I don't see this being the best choice here.
I mean, really, the supply does tell the... Okay, it looks like this is not going to be an all-in. I take it back. He's put down a third base now. He's just getting these for defense and scouting, it looks like. So he wants to drone up that third base before he gets back into... Or actually, he's going to get back into gas as he takes the third base. A little bit of a confusing play from Malik here, but it is what it is. Now, we have 36 drones to 20 SCBs, 54 supply to 30. So clearly, the difference in league is apparent here.
If we take a look at I Like Cheese's main base...
That's a lot of racks. That is 8 racks.
I'm not sure how I describe this, but it's happening.
He's gonna be able to spend his minerals here, Daedalus.
Yeah, I think that's at least a few too many racks, though, for 2 bases, even if he did perfectly saturate both.
Well, let's take into account that he's not gonna macro perfectly. It's like a macro hatch for Zerg, essentially. He's got the macro barracks. The only problem is he's only building out 3 of them. 4 of them now. So, he has 4 more barracks to work with. Or 5 more
these
barracks,
links
so a
are
total
getting
of
a lot
9
of them.
barracks.
Okay, does he lift off the orbital command here at the natural? If he loses this, then there's no way he's going to afford all these racks.
Oh, definitely
even
not.
with...
Oh, he needs to lift up here, Daedalus. I don't think it's gonna happen. Oh,
he did, but does he repair it?
Well, it is on fire. Looking at the production tab, the Baling Nest now finishing for Malik. Lair is on the way, and he takes his second gas at the main, as well as both gases at the natural. Meaning, we're going to be looking to tech up here, probably going to be looking for Baling Speed and Mutas, I would imagine. That CC here is still on fire, Daedalus.
Oh boy, please. Okay, this mule has been called down, and okay, there he goes. He repairs the orbital command, so that should be okay now. But with the Baneling Nest going down, these Marines are gonna get screwed, because I really don't feel that I Like Cheese can really show us the insane split micro. If you guys to run in with a bunch of Banelings, I think these Marines would be toast.
Yeah, definitely. The one thing I will say is that I like his idea. He's doing that. I know exactly what it is what he's doing. There are a lot of builds out there for new players that are all about just building stuff. You know.
Yep, I know this build myself too.
And that's what this build is. It's just I'm gonna get a lot of Marines because that's all that I can handle right now. But it will teach me how to macro, and macro is important in StarCraft. You can't macro. It doesn't matter how good your micro is. You just die. So he's taking the only build he knows and applying it to a high-level competition. The problem with this is this build is meant to be used against other bronze players. Malik is not a bronze player. He's going to see this and go, well, thanks. I'm just going to get Banelings. And we do see Baling speed on the way. Those centrifugal hooks, so important. We also have +1 Carapace, +1 melee. We also have another 2 bases going up. So he's got the macro hatch, and he's got another hatch. And the spire is more than 50% complete. 91 supply to 62. That's the basic summary of this game, and I think that I Like Cheese here is in kind of a tight spot.
Yeah, he's definitely. I believe Malik is going for more of an aggressive style based on where he put his 4th base. He could have took a much more safe one, but that one is a relatively close for location to the Marines. So if he was to build Banelings out of that 4th base, there would be almost no run distance. And with the Baneling speed upgrade, there's maybe 10 seconds between the two.
Yeah, and I would like to go ahead and mention, Malik is keeping up with that creep spread. He has 3 creep queens, and he's going to be reaching the middle of the map within the next minute or so here, Daedalus, and that's pretty nice for him. 132 supply to 78. Even though I Like Cheese is running a macro build, you know, we see why the macro build is so important, because his macro is not up to par. You would expect the supply to be more like 130 to 120. Of course, you want the Zerg higher supply than the Terran, but
Right.
you know, 130 to 120 would be even. This is not even at all, Daedalus, and here come the Banelings, my friend.
Yeah, with this many Banelings, I believe that's 16? Yeah, about 16.
Yeah,
including the ones morphing in.
He's going to have 17. 9 already built, and he's building 8 more. 17 total. This is going to be devastating here, because all there is pure Marine. And here we go, Daedalus.
Good, we don't mind hit, but... Oh.
They're just going to move their way up the ramp. And now he has eliminated every single unit of I Like Cheese here. The mutas are coming in from the left side. They are devastating the barracks, cutting off reinforcements. The bunker goes down, Daedalus. Lings continue to flood across the map. The muta's doing so much damage, taking out one of the barracks already. All the reinforcements are cut off. Lings are in the natural, chomping down on some tasty SCVs, and GG is called. Game number 1.
Yeah.
Goes to Texas Academy.
That was a rather easy game for Malik there. He really, once he made Banelings, there was nothing keeping him back from just winning the game. There was no splitting even tried there. And, of course, I believe we'll see better play out of I Like Cheese as we go later into the season, or maybe next year as well. But that wasn't his most impressive show.
No, it wasn't. But you know what? You got to give credit to a guy who says, you know what? I'm in Bronze League, but my team has called on me to play this week, and I'm going to play. You know, you got to give credit to a guy who's at least willing to try. You know, a lot of people don't like playing in tournament scenarios or league scenarios because they're like, but what if I lose? It's a lot of responsibility. You want to play well for your team. You don't want to let them down. So I do applaud his effort in going, you know what, I'm not the best player. I know that, but I'm going to give it the old try and see what I can make happen. And the fact that he was up against a diamond player, he kept his composure. He did do what he wanted to do. He stayed true to his build, and well, the result is what it is, but it was a good try nonetheless.
Most definitely. Seeing any bronze player with the courage, I guess would be the word, to face a Diamond Zerg, it's already got a decent little record for him. Even if he didn't win the match, it shows that he's willing to try pretty much anything.
Well, and that's a big part of StarCraft. So many people say, you know, you talk about ladder anxiety. You know, I don't think we're gonna see any ladder anxiety out of I like Cheese here. You know, he's going, look, mate, I played up against diamond players. Your silver border does not scare me at all. You know.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're gonna get into game number 2 here. Once again, Malik is called to play for his team, and this time it's gonna be against the wizard himself, Super Gandalf.
Yeah, now, I haven't seen anything of Super Gandalf myself, but based on the name, I think he'll do rather well this match.
Well, we'll see. If he's another bronze player, he's gonna have to rely on some magic to pull him out. Let's go ahead and get into game number 2 of Texas Academy of Math and Science versus Oxford. And it's a diamond versus gold. Now, I'm gonna tell the audience at home, we have not seen these before. So we're just as surprised as you every time we get into the match. So it is going to be a bronze versus a gold versus diamond. And I'm feeling a little bit better for Super Gandalf. He is Protoss. He can pull a few tricks out of the bag. You know,
Yeah,
I like that he plays Protoss because Protoss are magical. Let's be honest, Ian.
Yeah, and real quick, Gold League, I mean, I'm in Platinum myself, but from the little bit of time I was in Gold last season and the season before, I feel as though Gold League isn't a true show of skill as Bronze or Silver would be, as I've met so many X-Masters in Gold, you don't even know.
Yeah, so we could be seeing an X-Masters here. It's definitely possible. For some odd reason, you don't see X-Masters in Platinum or Diamond. They all seem to go down to Gold, and I don't know why that is. I guess the MMR is too strong?
Yeah, I know they're taking away that next patch, but anywho, spawning up in the top right side, playing for Texas Academy, it is V2 Life's Malik. Oh, there's...
And spawning in the bottom left, representing Oxford High School and the Shire itself, he is Super Gandalf. Do you
Now,
think they play StarCraft
Super Gandalf is... Yeah, Super Gandalf is starting to spawn things on the other side of the map, though, but it will be scouted almost immediately.
Hey, he tried, right? He took that advice that I gave last game. He said, you know what, let's try and do some cheese here, let's try to eliminate the macro, and this is going to be a 2-gate. Now, here's the thing, Malik's doing the right thing. He instantly puts down his spawning pool. He's not pulling drones, which is the right choice here. What he needs is he needs that spawning pool, and as soon as that spawning pool starts, he needs to put down spines. Zerglings are not going to hold this off. He needs spines, he needs queens. Spawning pool halfway finished here, but the first gate is very nearing completion, and on the other side of the map, we do see that that juicy chrono has been banked up here, Daedalus. He's going to be chronoing out Zealots one at a time here.
Now, from my experience playing Protoss, I'm just stupid when it comes to Chrono, honestly, so seeing that full energy bar doesn't surprise me too much, as when I've seen my own Protoss life or energy bar, it's full. But this will actually be used to Chrono out these Zealots, and it's gonna be rather effective. As, yeah, there is a Spine Crawler going down, but it's not in the best positioning. I believe that left side can still be attacked.
Right, he's just trying to tuck it in to make sure that it doesn't get killed right away. And I actually, okay, he waits a little while before he gets his first Zealot into the fray. Great micro here from Malik, keeping those Lings alive, Daedalus.
Yeah, losing no Lings to a Zealot, that's rather impressive. I know I can't do anything near like that, so rather impressive micro.
Oh,
and I think he actually kills the Zealot. Does he kill it without the Queen? The Queen helped. I was kind of curious.
Alright, well, he does have that safety spine, and he's going to move it up so that it's in range of any Zealots making its way out. Now, he needs to be careful here. Queen is off creep. She's going to be moving quite slow here. Oh, and a good block from our Protoss player, keeping that spine from going down just for a little while. But it will finally make its way down, and it will target down this Zealot. A creep tumor now going down from the Queen, making sure that the creep can extend so that he can move his spine forward. And yeah, I'd say this is pretty effectively shut down here, Daedalus.
Yeah, most definitely. This is a really good hold, to say the least. I'm not honestly sure why you made that last sell it. I would have canceled it and tried to start getting my stuff back on the other side of the map, but,
Yeah, we do see a
well, that one
cybernetics
sell it.
core. So he's
Yeah.
using the fact that these
Yeah.
gateways are up to try and tech up. But this attack has been thwarted completely. Taking a look at the unit tab, we have 11 probes to 13 drones. So he's not far behind in terms of economy. He did force out a lot of wings. He did force out a spine. He did force out gas. But the one thing he needs to be concerned with is that he has no wall, and now speedlings are going to be racing across the map here, Daedalus.
Yeah, even these 8 lings here, they can get so much damage done against the probe. Now, once Metabolic Boost finishes up, they're going to be even better. But even without Metabolic Boost, I think 8 slow lings still does a decent amount of damage to this economy, if not kills it.
Yeah, I do not...
Gateway
Okay,
isn't
well,
finished.
Metabolic Boost is finished. These speedlings are getting here, and there's nothing these probes can do. GG is
Yeah,
called.
GG.
Super Gandalf goes down. Texas Academy of Math and Science is up 2-0 here, Daedalus.
Yeah, it seems that these matches are being done rather quickly. I'd like to see a good macro game out of this, but we may just see more of a threat of 10, 12-minute matches from these players, so
Well,
we'll have to
like I
find out.
mentioned before, Texas Academy of Math and Science is one of those very strong schools. Malik has done great for his team. And I think that our next match is going to feature Print F, which we saw yesterday, who, if I recall correctly, is a Masters player. So,
Oof.
Oxford is not out of it yet. They do have a Master player on the roster, and they have called him out this week. I don't know if it's the next match or the last match, but it's one of them. And he may be able to tip things back in favor of Oxford. Now, a quick mention about how we do things here at the High School Star League. Each team, typically now, puts out 2 players. And then it's a round robin. Each one of those players plays the other. So your first player plays the first and second player of your opponents. And your second player also plays the first and second player of your opponent. So you have 4 games total. Now, both teams have actually opted for 3 players this week. So not exactly a round robin format. They're more picking and choosing who they want to field. Just because those players were available, I would imagine. So, the best that you can do here in High School Star League is 2-2 or 3-1 or 4-0. There is no best of 5. So there is the possibility to tie for the week, which is quite different from most StarCraft leagues.
Yeah, with Chobo Team League, I think there's the possibility to tie as well, but for example, taking the SWS tourneys, there's never a tie unless we have this, not even then, but if we somehow had 3 draws in our finals, and that was about the best you could get.
Right, yeah. So
I would actually love to do that.
we're going to be getting into our next match in a minute here, but I want to talk about some professional StarCraft. This is a StarCraft-centric stream here. Have you been watching the GSL?
I've tried to watch it, but the timing, no, I haven't watched all that much.
Oh man, you gotta see some great matches. I just watched Maru versus Hack. Round of 32. They're rebroadcasting GSL now, by the way, if you haven't noticed. I don't know what got into GSL's mind. Maybe they said, oh hey, people love GSL. If we rebroadcast GSL, people will watch it. So now GSL is rebroadcasting. It's on right now. The round of 32. They have Life, Hack, Rain, and Gumiho. So, yeah, be sure and check that out if you guys like some professional StarCraft. But you know what's really important here is the High School Star League. I would like to go ahead and mention High School Star League because, you know, that's what we're streaming right now. And I would like to go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsors. We have Twitch, New Egg, Rawcat, MSI, Blizzard, and Jinx. Jinx, of course, purveyors of fine gaming t-shirts. New Egg, the best place to buy all of your gaming gear. And, you know, Rawcat, MSI. I love Rawcat, really, because of Hyun. You know, they took Hyun, brought him in as their own, and Rawcat Hyun is awesome. And, of course, gotta thank the streaming platform that we're being able to host this on Twitch. And so what have these sponsors done for us? Well, we have $5,000 on the line here, Daedalus, for these StarCraft players. $5,000 for college, man. That's pretty good.
Why am I not playing in this?
Well, you already told me why. It's because you're platinum.
Well, I didn't know there was money on the line. If there was money on the line, I would have joined if I was bronze.
All right. Well, we are going to be hopping into the next match in just a minute here. We're going to take a quick break. And then when we get back, we'll hop into game number 3 of Oxford versus a Texas Academy of Math and Science. I'm going to throw you guys up some Monster Cat, and we'll be right back. Alright, everybody, welcome back to the SCV Rush cast of the High School Star League, StarCraft 2. We're gonna hop into game number 3 between Oxford High School and Texas Academy of Math and Science. And Daedalus, right now, Texas Academy is up 2-0. Do you think they can bring it back? Do you think Oxford can bring it back 2-2?
Maybe.
Maybe. Now, we do have I Like Cheese again. And I'm just going to clarify. Both teams did send out 2 players. I heard that they put out 3. But I just got clarification. It's only 2 players. So it's going to be Asian Pop-Tart and I Like Cheese, Super Gandalf, and Malik. And now Malik's already played his 2 matches. He is done. So now it's going to be up to these other superstars to play out the matches and see if they can bring it back. So we're going to go ahead and hop into game number 3 of this series between Oxford High School and Texas Academy of Math and Science. And we are loaded up into the game. Let's go ahead and introduce our players. Spawning in the bottom right of Deadwing Ladder Edition, representing Oxford High School and all things cheese, it is our orange Terran player, I Like Cheese.
And spawning up in the top right, playing for Texas Academy, it is our teal Protoss, Ayaz, and Pop-Tart. Best name in A.
Asian Pop-Tart, of course. He is a Pop-Tart. We're going to have to see what this Pop-Tart has in store. Now, this brings up an interesting question, Daedalus. At the loading
What
screen...
Pop-Tart is teal?
Well, yeah. We saw at the loading screen that Asian Pop-Tart is unranked. We don't know what his rank is. Now, this could be kind of scary, obviously, because he could be Bronze, he could be Master, we don't know. And this is going to be kind of a tricky situation for I Like Cheese. He's not really going to be able to gauge what he needs to do against his opponent. Regardless, do you think he goes for that 8 racks again?
I hope not.
Well,
but
he's against Protoss,
maybe.
so against gateway units, it would be alright. But once those Colossus are out, man, you really need to add in those Marauders. So we'll see. Asian Pop-Tart going to go ahead and scout, sends out his scouting probe. We'll get a lucky scout off. Oh. Java, what are you doing?
Java, not good unit.
No, Java not good unit. Decided to throw a little pop-up on screen. My computer wants to update. There's no updates here.
Does your computer explode when that happens too, or is it just mine?
It doesn't explode. It just throws up a little pop-up like, hey, I'd like to update. And I'm like, no, I'm busy. There are games to be played. There are games to be watched. You can do that business when I'm sleeping. And I'm clearly not sleeping right now. So we do have barracks going up, and the probe's going to get a full scout off in the base. And this is great for Pop-Tart. He knows exactly what's going on.
Yeah, he's... I mean, this is an amazing scout, to say the least. He is going to even scout the 3rd base for some reason. That may have been a misclick. Alternate 3rd base, that is. Anywho, I've been thinking about which Pop-Tart is teal, and I've came to the conclusion that none of them are.
None of them are. But here's a big question. What is your favorite Pop-Tart? I grew up on strawberry, but it's not my favorite. My favorite is s'mores.
I have to disagree with you, man. I have to say the chocolate peanut butter Pop-Tart is...
I have a peanut allergy. That sounds so good. It's funny. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, a little bit of medicine for you. Allergies can pop up whenever. So you can be like, oh, I have a weed allergy. Well, you may not have that weed allergy until you hit your 40s. Allergies can start at any time. So I used to love eating peanut butter, just scooping it out of the jar. I loved Reese's, I loved all these things. And then one day I started eating it from a jar of peanuts. And I just got incredibly sick for like the next 24 hours. I was just dead. And the doctor was like, yeah, man, don't kill yourself. Don't do that anymore. But we have a 4-gate coming out of Asian Pop-Tart. Looks like he wants to end this game quite early. And on the other side of the map, I Like Cheese is expanding. No! This expansion is going to kill I Like Cheese, I think.
I think so too. I mean, even if he did wall off, there's not a good chance for him to hold this, but he didn't even wall off.
And there's no bunker. There is no bunker here,
well,
Daedalus.
I mean, there is on the main base, I guess, but that doesn't really count in this case.
No. He's going to have to forfeit that expansion pretty much as soon as it comes up, as we do have Chrono coming out. units coming out, made one by one from the gate. So he's already going to have a few units before he even has Warp Gate up. And Warp Gate is 75% complete here, Daedalus. This is going to hit fast, and it's going to hit hard, my friend.
And this probe is making the proxy pylon. Yeah, I don't see this feasibly being held at all very easily, as the wall off is about the only thing that's your saving grace when you're holding a 4-gate. And guess what? He didn't make a wall this time.
But
So
Cheese does have a bunker going down. It's going to complete before the first units make their way across the map and start assaulting the territory of I Like Cheese. Now, he can hold this if he pulls SCVs, but we saw him already almost lose an orbital command because he didn't pull SCVs. And an orbital command has a lot more hit points than a bunker. He's going to need some fast reaction time to pull the mules, pull the boys, repair this bunker, and possibly save the game here.
yeah, at least he put Marines into the bunker. That was honestly one of the things I was kind of worrying about. But that job is done, and he's warping in a Sentry and a Zealot. Not entirely sure why he chose the Sentry, but I don't think it'll really change the outcome of this game. There's a Phoenix coming around the back, scouting, I guess.
Yeah,
It's not even hallucinated.
No,
Wow.
it's a real
Okay.
Phoenix. 5 Zealots, a Stalker, and a Sentry are going to be the weapons of choice for Asian Pop-Tart. Now, here's the big thing. If I Like Cheese somehow manages to hold, he is so far ahead in the game, but he's got to hold Daedalus. He cannot afford to lose this expansion. And a third CC now going down for I Like Cheese. This is some greedy Terran play, and he's not making a whole lot of units anymore. He's only got 4 racks, now putting down a 5th. He's building units one at a time. No reactors on these bad boys, by the way.
The
He's got
second
2
bunker has
bunkers.
nothing in it.
Okay, he's got 2 bunkers. I think he sees
He needs
what's
to
going
put
on
something
here.
in the second one, though. Why is he attacking the one that has nothing in it? Okay, now it has something in it, but I still think he should have went for the first bunker. He's gonna lose the Sentry. I actually think this push is held, but the bunker will go down. Even okay, no.
Oh, he needs to repair it. It's not down yet, but it is burning to the ground. No Marines.
All right,
Don't
these Marines are gonna
venture.
get wrecked. Oh my God! And this'll. Oh, please repair the bunker, dude. Please.
Okay, he pulled
Okay, there he
one
goes.
SCV,
40 health, but
he needs.
But he
more
is
than
going to be
that.
pushing one SCV. That's not going to handle it. I mean, the Stalkers can pretty much shoot this down by themselves. They don't even need the Zealot support here. And
Yeah, this
I
is
don't
gonna
see
be
how he
too
holds
much.
this.
More
It's
Marines
fine.
are joining the fray here, Daedalus, but I'm afraid that these Zealots are just going to slice right through them. The Marines, as they're coming down, are on the move command. This natural expansion now under assault, losing SCVs here. He needs to lift. He needs to put it back home. He needs to get units into that bunker on the high ground and just defend. He has 3 CCs. He can still win this if he just lifts and defends at the main. But no, the Marines on the move command. No, where are you going? Where is he taking?
Where's that rock going? No, stop it!
He could use that to wall off. Oh, wouldn't that be brilliant?
Where's the other
Daedalus?
command center going?
All
I'm
right,
so
well, I
confused.
Like Cheese a little bit overwhelmed by the 4-gate from his opponent. 26 supply to 58 tells the tale. Few Marines being built, but the racks will eventually go down. The Marines are still on the move command. They're not even shooting. All the SCVs are being pulled here, Daedalus.
You don't want to fight Zealots with SCVs. This is going to be a massacre.
Yep, Marines still on the move command. Not a single Marine firing as it comes out of the barracks. And 3 supply to 62. GG is going to be called any moment now.
Yeah, I think I understand what's going on, though. Those Marines were trying to get away from the fray, as they knew they could not take that, so they were like, no, screw you, I know you're my commander, but I'm not going anywhere near that unless it's towards the ramp.
This is kind of brilliant from Asian Pop-Tart, because he has these 3 Phoenix out, and they are now chasing down the orbital commands that I Like Cheese is floating. Now, I Like Cheese was in a phenomenal position. He could have held that. He had repaired the bunkers if he had kept producing Marines. He has 1,100 minerals in the bank. So, provided that he had done all of those things, he definitely would have beaten Asian Pop-Tart. Asian Pop-Tart, I feel, is good, but it's not like that push wasn't unholdable. 1 orbital command now will go down. SCVs are now being produced from this 2nd CC, which, by the way, is actually his 3rd CC. But with 3 SCVs, no orbital, He's not gonna win this here, Daedalus. Expansion going down for the Protoss. No probes being made, but still has the expansion. This game
Yeah,
is
the
over.
Protoss keeps this expansion. I don't know what he's staying in the game for. Maybe that last bit of desperate hope, or maybe Bronze League stubbornness. Either way, though, I don't see him. There's no way he wins this.
No, absolutely not. And the last barracks being chased down. No GG
No GG.
here. I Like Cheese leaves the game. And now we have Texas Academy up 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, I Like Cheese loves cheese, except when he's being cheesed.
Well,
So
he hasn't cheesed himself yet. He's gone like, you know, one racks expand, one racks expand into 3 more racks into a 3rd CC. He's done everything
into like
but
4
cheese.
Rexes.
Yeah, he's done everything but cheese. And I wonder if the 4-gate from his opponent was because maybe he suspected cheese himself. Maybe he said, well, if you're going to cheese me, I'm just going to 4-gate.
I know for myself, when I see a name like I Like Cheese, I just throw down that extra bunker.
Yeah, throw down that extra bunker, be a little bit safe. I Like Cheese does not like, well, he does like to play safe. He had 2 bunkers. The only thing is, he did not repair the bunkers. If he had repaired the bunkers with his SCVs, he would have held that beautifully. And he would have had 3 CCs against the 2 CCs of his opponent. And trust me, his opponent had no tech. Phoenix is not the best against Marines. He could have gone across the map and won. But it's all theory craft at this point here, Daedalus. We do have one more game to go into. Now, there's pretty much no hope for Oxford High School at this point. Now, what they can do is at least not go down 4-0, as the one game that they do win, potentially, will still put them on the scoreboard for this week. So they don't want to go down 4-0, and it's going to be up to their last match to see if they can win at least one game here against a very strong opponent in Texas Academy.
Yeah, this should be a very interesting match, to say the least, as it is really... It's on the line for... I forget the school name. I don't know how I forget the school name.
It's on the line for Oxford. And here's the thing here. It is going to be a more even match. In fact, this may be the most even match we see all day. We have Super Gandalf, the gold Protoss, versus Asian Pop-Tart, another Protoss himself. Now, I will mention this. The average APM of Asian Pop-Tart was around 70, which leads me to believe he's a gold, maybe platinum player. The range of APM for Protoss is kind of hard. I've seen Protosses in diamond with 50 APM. I've seen Protosses in gold with 130 APM. Protoss is one of those races, it really varies. You don't have to have high APM to win as Protoss. With Terran and Zerg, that's not quite the case. Protoss relies on composition and knowledge, knowing when can I expand, when can I defend, what is my opponent doing, how do I win this game, and also a lot of 2-base all-ins, whereas Terran and Zerg require a lot more micro, especially Terrans when it comes to splitting and whatnot. Plus the production cycle. You know, if you've got barracks, you've got factories, you've got starports, you've got supply depots to build, that takes a lot of APM to manage all of that. On the Zerg side, you've got your injects, you've got to build drones, you've got to make buildings, you've got to build static D, you've got to get your creep going, so a lot more involved with those races. So, based on the APM, Asian Pop-Tart really could be all the way from diamond to gold, so we'll have to see how Super Gandalf handles this next match. And without further ado, I know you guys are getting antsy. Hey, stop talking, show us the damn match. We're going to get right into it. Next game, game number 4 between Texas Academy and Oxford. And we are in the lobby. We're going to go ahead and start the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go, go, go. Alright.
Alright, now something to note real quick is that HS Star League itself likes Wildberry Pop-Tarts the most.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like them all that much.
I haven't had Wildberry. Is Wildberry teal, though? I mean, think about it. Blueberry, maybe? Maybe. It's a stretch. Let's go ahead and introduce our
I'll look it up.
Let's go ahead and introduce our players here. spawning in at the bottom left of my favorite map, Overgrowth Ladder Edition. It's our Teal Protoss, representing Texas Academy of Math and Science. He's looking to win it 4-0 for his team. It is... I'm sorry. I just introduced the wrong player. Spawning in the bottom left. Getting too excited here. It's, Oxford High School's player wanting to bring it up 3-1 for his team. He is Super Gandalf. I'm getting way too excited here, Dados. I'm enjoying myself way too much. I'm going crazy over here.
Yeah, and spawning up at the top right, we have our Teal Pop-Tart. It is Iezin Pop-Tart. And... okay, decent pylon positioning.
He is representing Texas Academy, and I'm excited for Texas Academy. Even though I want to see a good match, I want to see Texas Academy win. I'm a little bit biased. I live in Texas, so it's good to see the boys bring it home 4-0. But we're going to have to see how this turns out. Now, both pylons for these players are going to be in the main base? No! We have the proxy from Super Gandalf coming up, and it's going to be a 2-gate here. Super Gandalf.
Alright.
Wanting to bring it 1-3 for his team here. This needs to be scouted. This absolutely needs to be scouted because Agent Pop-Tart only has 1 gate building. Now, the one thing he will have going for him is he will probably have a cybernetics core up faster. Oh, he's going out. He's going to scout. No, no, he doesn't see it. He doesn't see it. He was on the way, and he turned.
I feel so
Look
bad.
at him. He is checking. But he said, there's no way you proxied at my natural. Who would do that? Well, let me tell you who would do that. Super Gandalf would, and he has.
See, I feel so bad for Pop-Tart here because this has happened to me on ladder countless times. It's to the point where if I'm playing a TVT at all, I check the natural. Because this is such a bad feeling when you watch the replay and you just see that they proxied 2 feet away from where you were scouting.
Alright, well, here's the thing. Agent Pop-Tart has gone for a second gateway before his cybernetics.
Okay.
He has a chance. Now, Super Gandalf needs to get in there and do some damage. Okay, with 2 zealots, he's probably going to do some damage. There is an Artosis pylon here powering both of these gateways. No, he needs to take down the pylon.
He goes right by it. No, hit the pylon, hit the pylon.
Okay, there he goes. He starts hitting that pylon. All the probes are pulled.
The probe's already being pulled, and the pylon will... okay, another pylon will go down. That's alright, but I think that gets cancelled. Nope. But these probes are being massacred. There's only going to be 7 to maybe 11 left? I don't even think that, really.
Okay, well,
yeah,
despite the fact that 2 gateways are up, you cannot chrono out enough zealots here to win from here. I don't think. More probes going down. Only 1 worker on the line. And, you know, even though gateway is on the way, even though a stalker can be produced for Asian Pop-Tart, I don't think he's going to be able to hold this with just 1 worker. It would take a miracle.
With the 1 worker, it's got some work to do, to say the very least about it.
Yeah, staying true to his name. He's got to mine all the minerals in the world.
We have merry-go-round on Overgrowth there for a second, where Pop-Tart's last zealot was being chased around the map.
Alright, GG is called, and Super Gandalf able to bring it up for his team. Will put his team on the scoreboard. And we end the day with Texas Academy 3-1, winning 3-1.
Yeah, so something I want to look up real quick. Okay, let's see here. Wildberry Pop-Tarts do have some teal on them, but they are primarily purple.
Okay, so Asian Pop-Tart officially High School Star League's favorite Pop-Tart, we can assume?
I'd assume so.
Alright, so the Teal Protoss Asian Pop-Tart is officially HSL's favorite Pop-Tart. Okay, it's undeniable. We've said it on stream, and anything you hear on the internet is true, so that's the way it is. There's no arguments. 3-1 here, Daedalus. Now, Texas Academy is doing quite well. They won 4-0 last week. They've won 3-1 here. They have at least 7 games to their name this season. The only ones who can beat them are teams that have gone 8-0. And the only school that I think that may have been able to pull that off would be who we casted yesterday, Walnut High School. And now I will mention Walnut High School has a little bit of an advantage in that they have a former pro player on their team in Intense. And Intense has a player who's been to MLG. He's competed at that level. He's a master player. A former
Wow.
GM, I believe, by the way. I don't think he's not a GM right now, but let's be honest. Top 8 master GM, really the same thing.
Same
Because
thing.
when it comes to GM, there's only so many slots. And it goes to whoever has the 200 players with the most points at the beginning of the season. So if you didn't play as many games, you may actually get your spot taken by a player who's not as good as you, but has just played more games. So,
Sure.
Intense, definitely a Grandmaster level player. And I believe his team has gone 8-0. So, Texas Academy is right up there with the best right now, Daedalus. And they're going to be in a good spot.
Yeah. Wow. I can't get over the fact that Intense has been to MLG. I did not know that.
Yeah, he placed, he was in the round of 64, I think. Let me double check that.
You remember the 15-year-old kid that showed up at the DreamHack Open? He got wrecked by, I think it was Tasia, but just the fact that he was 15 in a DreamHack.
Okay, so yeah, okay, a little bit of history here. He was at the 2013 MLG Spring Championship. He was at 2014 MLG Anaheim, and he won
Cool.
the Breakout Invitational 3 in October of last year, beating Kellizer 4-0.
Wow, that's not a very easy opponent either.
You want to know what's funny is that for his high school Star League match, he played against Kellizer. So, I mean,
Okay.
he beat Kellizer 4-0 in the Breakout Invitational, and then went and beat him in high school Star League.
Poor
So,
Kelzer.
yeah, poor Kellizer indeed. But yeah, Intense is definitely a player we're going to want to be looking for as we continue down the high school Star League path. He's definitely going to be one of those players that can cinch the win for his team. Now remember, he can't play every match for his team. He can only be one of the two players, so his team still has to have some other strong players if they want to win the entire season, but they're off to a good start. And one more thing I will mention about Intense. He's been on Root Gaming's Academy, he's been on Seed Gaming, and he's been on IVD
Wow.
Gaming with Puck. So, he's definitely got the skill. You know, I would say that any match you put Intense into, he's going to win. So if you can guarantee that 2-0 each week, at a minimum, you're doing pretty well.
Yeah, to say the least. I'd love to see Intense versus Malik.
You know, that would be a good match. But I mean, Intense, again, he's just such a good player. I think that, you know, we've seen Malik play well. But I don't think Malik would beat Kellizer. And Intense has not lost to Kellizer at all. So I think that Intense really is on another level. It would be a good match for sure. But one that I would definitely favor Intense 100%.
Oh, most definitely. I just kind of want to see how Malik would do against a player like that. Like, I'm pretty sure he would lose, but just kind of want to see like how he would lose.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Well, that's it from us for today. Once again, we want to thank you all for tuning in. Want to give a huge shout out for our sponsors. We do have their names plastered here on the screen. Right here in the bottom right, you've got Twitch, New Egg, Rocket, Blizzard, MSI, and Jinx. I always say Jinx last because I'm used to reading left from right, but by no means is Jinx least, you know, ever.
Yep. And MSI isn't least either. I mean, their motherboards are insane, so.
Yeah, well, all of these guys have some great products, really. I mean, Blizzard, StarCraft, Heroes, Hearthstone.
Yeah, but MSI has really good motherboards.
Yeah, they've got great stuff. So definitely check out our sponsors. We really do appreciate all that they've done for us here at the High School Star League. And I would like to give out a shout out to the crew of SCV Rush. Again, myself and Daedalus are from that wonderful crew of SCV Rush. We are a hosting and casting organization. We host tournaments all week long. You should definitely check us out. Sign up for our tournaments, scvrush.challonge.com. That's spelled Challonge. Like challenge, but with a slight accent. So it's challenge. I would like to say one more thing.
Challenge.
It's been a true pleasure casting with you, Daedalus. Do you have anything to say to our wonderful audience?
Thanks for watching, guys. Other than that, no, not really.
All right. Well, Well, do give us a follow if you liked all the high school action today at Brownling SC2 and at Daedalus _ SC2. We're going to bring it back next week with some more High School Star League matches. We're going to have to see if Texas Academy can continue through their amazing bracket run as we go deeper and deeper into High School Star League matches. Be looking out for next week. All the action is going to be on Saturday and Sunday. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. Thank you guys for tuning in, and have a great day.